Hey guys, I'm Justin with AmericanMuscle.com, and this is going to be my detailed breakdown and install of the ST Suspension STX Height Adjustable Coilover Kit, available for your 2015 and newer Mustang. So the ST Suspension's STX Height Adjustable Coilover Kit will be one of your most affordable twin tube options currently on the site, and a setup that will offer prospective buyers a drop ranging from 1 to 2 inches for the front and just about 1 inch to 1.5 inches for the rear. Now the STX coilovers won't offer the biggest drop in the category per se. Instead, they're going to be for the buyers out there more concerned with getting a quality build in addition to a corresponding 5-year warranty. Now, as far as the actual installation is concerned, well, this one really isn't all that bad, gang, but I'm still going to go 2 out of 3 wrenches on the overall scale of difficulty here with some more detail later on. Now, the goal of the STX coilover here is to provide you, the prospective buyer, with a nice balance between performance and comfort through the fixed damping rate. I do want to make that perfectly clear here, guys. The STX coilovers will be a height adjustable coilover only. You're not going to have the ability to mess with those damping rates like you would with other coilovers in the category. But let's get down to the quality a little bit more here with the STX coilovers, because in my opinion, it is one of the best features about these particular coils, and will help separate maybe these from some of your other options in the category for around the same price point. Now, for those who didn't know, ST Suspensions is actually designed and built by KW Suspensions, who just so happen to make some of the nicest coilovers in the aftermarket, but not everybody has the $2,000 to $3,000 to spend on these things. So as a result, KW offered ST as kind of their more affordable lineup. Still solid build, solid quality, but without some of the bells and whistles that make the KW variants the cream of the crop. This does, of course, include the fact that these aren't going to offer you any damping adjustment. Instead, you're just looking at that height adjustment, and that's pretty much it, gang. But that's kind of similar to the KW V1. However, look a little closer and you'll notice the STX is made from a high-grade steel and then is zinc-plated to help reduce any corrosion. Now, those KW V1s, on the other hand, they're going to deliver a full stainless steel build, and as such will get backed by KW's lifetime warranty, as opposed to the 5-year warranty you're grabbing here with the STX coilovers, which, by the way, guys, still really isn't all that bad in the land of aftermarket suspension. Now, the KW and the ST options are essentially going to utilize the same spring and the same internal design, but if that fancy stuff like the full stainless steel build really doesn't mean all that much to you, you're going to be very happy with the STX coilovers, especially for the $1,100 price point. Now, the guys over at ST Suspensions actually say that once these things are installed, prospective buyers can look forward to improved driving dynamics while still maintaining a comfortable ride quality, thanks largely in part to the unique spring rates, along with that twin tube design, which in my experience, guys, tends to yield a more forgiving or more comfortable ride quality when compared to a monotube. But let's dive a little deeper into some of the finer details here with the construction. Yes, we already covered the zinc-plated high-grade steel bodies for the STX, but the springs themselves have actually been annealed and shot blasted, which is just a way of producing a spring, or a metal for that instance, to eliminate any imperfections and just strengthen things overall. The STX coilovers also feature a composite material here for the spring seat, and that's just going to help reduce any extra noise or vibration from the actual spring themselves. One thing you probably didn't notice here, but let me point it out to you, is that the STX coilovers don't include any kind of top hat or strut mount, meaning one of two things. You can either reuse your factory stuff, which I don't always recommend here because you're not going to be getting a lot of adjustment, or you can just kind of bite the bullet and grab an aftermarket set of caster camber plates, which we have a number of on the site. BMR, Maximum Motorsports, Steeda, just to name a few, and you're going to be dropping about $200 to $300 for those. I do prefer to go that way because ultimately, yes, this is a coilover, you're going to be dropping your car a little bit more, and those aftermarket caster camber plates will be offering more adjustment for both caster and camber. But let's touch on the height adjustment one more time, because that is one of the perks of going with a coilover as opposed to a fixed drop spring. And again, you are seeing roughly 1 to 2 inches for the front and about just shy of 1 inch to 1.5 inches for the rear for your total range of drop. Now, even though this isn't as big as the SR coilovers, for instance, this still should be enough to essentially slam the car to the ground. For reference sake here, guys, most aftermarket spring companies for the S550 tend to stick to a 1-inch drop, so that should be more than enough to tell you that these things, yes, will give you a pretty slam look. But let's switch gears and talk a little bit more about the install, just kind of give you a general overview so you have a better idea of what to expect when it does come time to start wrenching. And honestly guys, this one really isn't all that bad. I'm still going middle of the road 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and maybe a few hours to a half a day in the shop or garage, depending on your level of expertise. As far as your basic tool list, guys, well, a socket set will be doing most of your heavy lifting for this install, in addition to a few open-ended wrenches. You're also going to need a jack and jack stands, of course, or a lift if you have access. And if you do plan on reusing your factory strut mounts, you will need a spring compressor in order to safely remove those from your factory strut assembly. However, if you do plan on going with an aftermarket caster camber plate for these guys, you will not need your spring compressor for this install. Now the fronts will be pretty straightforward for the installation because essentially you're just removing the entire front strut assembly using a couple bolts down below, 3 bolts in the engine bay, and of course your sway bar end link, removing that and reinstalling the STX front coilovers in reverse order. The rears will be a little bit more tricky thanks to the addition of the IRS, but still not that bad overall. Some of your basic steps here include removing and reinstalling the STX rear shocks, and then loosening those rear subframe bolts enough to let it sag, but don't remove them completely, in order to swap out the rear spring in favor of the STX option and the adjustable perch. Button everything back up and your installation is complete. After your install is complete, you can get to work adjusting your ride height using the detailed instructions from ST, in addition to the 2 wrenches that they include with the kit here. Now once everything's been installed, adjusted, all that good stuff, I always recommend stopping by your local alignment shop just to make sure everything looks okay and inspect. This way you're not blowing through any tires. In closing, the STX coilovers will offer everything the KW V1s will from a design and damping standpoint for nearly half the price. Now, if you can live without that fancy stainless construction and corresponding lifetime warranty, or the ability to adjust your damping, I think you're going to be very happy with the STX coilovers, and you can grab a set right here at AmericanMuscle.com.